Hello family, welcome to Jimmy Stories. Please do remember to subscribe, like, leave your thoughts on the comments section, and also share this video, it means the world to us. Thank you as you do so. Now sit back and relax as we dive into this thrilling story briefly. The Monroe Hotel's new luxury location shines under an evening of opulence and elegance. Chris Monroe, a self-assured millionaire with a reputation for success, hosts the grand opening of his newest luxury hotel. The event brims with influential guests, shimmering chandeliers, and an air of exclusivity. Cynthia Evans, a single mother of twin boys, works tirelessly as a server at the event. Clad in a crisp uniform, her eyes betray her exhaustion, yet her grace and diligence stand out. Balancing 3 jobs and raising her sons alone has left her worn, but her dedication shines through. Chris's gaze drifts over the crowd until it lands on Cynthia, whose quiet resilience catches his attention. Unfazed by the wealth and glamour around her, she moves with a humble yet determined air that intrigues him. While making his rounds, Chris finds himself drawn toward her. "Are you new here?" he asks, breaking her focus as she refills a guest's champagne glass. Cynthia glances up, startled by the attention. "No, sir, just helping for the night," she replies, her voice steady despite the nervous flutter in her chest. Their brief exchange is interrupted by the demands of the event, but Chris's curiosity lingers, marking the start of an unexpected connection. The night progresses, and Chris deliberately seeks out opportunities to interact with Cynthia. They eventually find a moment to talk by the terrace, away from the crowd. Cynthia, hesitant but unable to ignore the warmth in his demeanor, shares snippets of her life, her twins, her struggles, and her dreams of providing them with a better future. Chris listens intently, his usual business-focused persona softened by her honesty. Their conversation grows deeper, bridging the vast gap between their worlds. Cynthia, despite her initial wariness, feels a sense of ease she hasn't experienced in years. As the night winds down, Chris invites Cynthia for a quiet drink to thank her for her hard work. One drink won't hurt, she thinks, her exhaustion temporarily replaced by a flicker of excitement. Under the soft glow of the bar lights, their connection deepens. Vulnerabilities surface as Chris confesses his loneliness, despite his success, and Cynthia reveals her struggles with juggling motherhood and survival. One drink turns into 2, and before long, the boundaries blur. A spark ignites, a mixture of attraction and raw emotion. The next morning, Cynthia wakes up in a luxurious hotel suite, disoriented but aware of the consequences of her impulsive decision. Memories of the night before flash through her mind, laughter, intimacy, and vulnerability shared with a man she barely knows. Guilt and fear wash over her as she hurriedly dresses and slips out of the room before Chris wakes up. Chris, on the other hand, wakes to find Cynthia gone. He feels a pang of disappointment but brushes it aside, chalking it up to a fleeting connection. As much as she intrigued him, he convinces himself it was just one night. Cynthia returns to her reality, her modest apartment filled with the sound of her twins' playful chatter. She resolves to put the night behind her and focus on her children, burying the memory deep within her. 5 years pass, and life has moved on for both Cynthia and Chris. Cynthia continues to work tirelessly to support her now 5-year-old twin boys, Liam and Caleb. Despite her struggles, she finds joy in their laughter and the unconditional love they give her. However, the resemblance they bear to their absent father is undeniable, a truth she keeps locked away. Chris has expanded his hotel empire, becoming even more successful, but a lingering sense of emptiness remains. His relationships are fleeting, and he finds himself yearning for something deeper, though he can't quite put a name to it. Fate intervenes when Chris visits one of his hotels for an impromptu inspection. Cynthia, now a full-time staff member, is assigned to serve his table. Their eyes meet, and recognition dawns. "Cynthia?" Chris says, his voice laced with disbelief. Cynthia freezes, her heart pounding. "Mr. Monroe," she replies, her voice steady despite the turmoil within. The twins, who are waiting nearby in a corner of the lobby, run toward their mother, unaware of the tension. Chris's gaze shifts to the boys, and the air grows heavy as he notices their striking resemblance to himself. Chris's curiosity turns to suspicion as he observes the twins. Their dark eyes, their mannerisms, it's like looking at a younger version of himself. He can't shake the thought as he approaches Cynthia after the event. "Those boys, they're yours?" he asks, trying to mask the storm of emotions within him. "Yes," Cynthia replies, her voice tight. "And their father?" Chris presses, his tone soft but insistent. Cynthia hesitates, torn between the fear of losing everything and the weight of the truth. "It's complicated," she finally says. Chris doesn't let it go, determined to uncover the truth. Over the next few days, he subtly investigates, piecing together fragments of Cynthia's life. When the realization hits, it's both a shock and a revelation. He confronts her, emotions boiling over. "Why didn't you tell me?" Chris demands, his voice a mixture of anger and hurt. "I didn't think you'd care," Cynthia replies, her eyes brimming with tears. "You're a billionaire. I'm just a struggling single mother. I didn't want to complicate your life, or mine." The confrontation forces both Chris and Cynthia to confront their emotions and the consequences of their choices. Chris, initially overwhelmed, begins to see the twins not as a complication but as an opportunity to build the family he never thought he'd have. Cynthia, wary but hopeful, agrees to let Chris into their lives on one condition: that he proves he's committed to being a father, not just a wealthy benefactor. Over time, Chris bonds with Liam and Caleb, their shared traits and personalities bringing unexpected joy into his life. As he spends more time with them, he also rekindles his connection with Cynthia, realizing that his feelings for her never truly faded. Cynthia, though cautious, begins to trust Chris, watching as he transitions from a distant businessman to a hands-on father. Their relationship blossoms anew, this time built on trust, understanding, and shared love for their children. As the story closes, the four of them stand together, not as strangers from different worlds, but as a family, imperfect yet whole.